Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Road to Rotation. Up today we have OP02's Mono Blue leader. We have Emporio Ivankov, who's a 5,000 power leader with 5 life. And end of your turn, if you have 0 cards in your hand, draw 2 cards. So this one is a pretty interesting leader. This ability has never been super strong, but it did get significantly better when EB01 came around, where we got this Inazuma. That on a turn where you end the turn on 0 with Inazuma, you get to go all the way up to 4 cards, drawing 2 from your leader and then another 2 from Inazuma. The core of the deck focuses around this Ivan, who draws you up to 3 cards and then plays out a 6 cost or less Impel Down guy. So those main targets we have is Luffy, Inazuma, we have Crocodile, and then we have a couple of blockers here who can be pretty good, and a little bit earlier in the game they can played out. So that's the main core of the deck. And then in EB01, we also got this Gum Gum Champion Rifle, which is limited to Impel Down type leaders. So there's very few in the game who can use this. But our main game plan will be just getting out these Ivankovs, Luffy's, Inazumas, and kind of forcing home the win, while countering very aggressively to get as many cards drawn out of our leader ability as possible. This one can be really spicy if we can kind of keep our opponent on a small board, which isn't trivial in this deck because we don't have very much in the other ways of removal. This Luffy does bounce something, which can be helpful for that. But if our opponent is playing out their bodies first, then we can kind of get them with this. Oh no, if they're not playing out their bodies first, then we can kind of get whatever's left with this. And then we have a couple of Newcomb lands and Kayas to kind of filter through our hand to find what we need to kind of set up those combos. But that's pretty much how the deck works. Let's go ahead and hop into some games. First up, we have Blackbeard here. This is going to be a bit tough. Luckily, the Luffy does still work through the on-play ability, and so does Inazuma. I think the Ivankov not working means we should mulligan it. Yeah, we ended up with, I think, a better hand here. I am going to just pass the turn. We do get to counter pretty aggressively here. Not being able to use some of our abilities will be a problem late game, but let's hope that we can get enough 7Ks down to negate that problem. If they get a good removal engine online, it will be kind of difficult for us. I think with that in mind, I am going to leave up this Champion Rifle and just swing a 7 here. And if they do want to play stuff out, then we have the Rifle as an option. They are going to go ahead and start going with... Oh, okay, so that was just full of that. Okay, they do Black Hole. 5. It is correct to pitch in this deck. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Bong Clay. He doesn't usually get played out, but keeping my hand low would be important. Shiryu here. 4 cost or less. It means we do have to kind of respect it here. And it will be something that kind of sticks to the board. Here, I don't think we're going to get anything out of our character's ability, but he does still have an ability. Luckily, hopefully this rifle can be a good card to use here. We are holding it up, which is a little bit telegraphed if our opponent is familiar with the card. Black Hole's unfortunate. It's going to be able to get rid of our guy. I am going to use the rifle here, forcing our opponent to bounce their guy. Hopefully this puts them off tempo a little bit. Because this does kind of get there, and then we will resolve our attack because we have countered sufficiently. And then on next turn we'll play out Inazuma and hope for the best. All right. So we need to keep the pressure on. We need 6K at least. Let's just go with a 5 here, because if our opponent lets us play, lets us swing into the Kuzan, I think I will, just to... Okay, and then we'll do a 6 here. Okay, they are going for something out. It's the other Kuzan. Interesting choice there. I am going to play out Inazuma. And unfortunately I do get to restand. I will not get any benefit out of it here, but I will get to get rid of this Ivan. And then it doesn't matter the order because we're at 3 cards here. I do have the Black Hole, which we knew they had. They didn't use it last turn. A 5 here. We will counter. I think it is correct to use the Kaya here. And they're full of lead. We're not in the worst spot right here. We do get to probably draw some cards on the following turn. If they want to swing 8, that kind of hurts because it means it'll make it a little harder for us. A 5 is great. We're just going to end up playing out this Vanilla Onmar next turn, which should work out nicely. I don't think that there's anything they can get off this Kuzan that is the scariest for us. We're out of range for Augur. Okay, that's... Burgess is one that will threaten us in the end game. Get a Caribou as well, and then they do Black Hole us. Ooh, this is a great time to have the Croc here. So let's go ahead and... Unfortunately, they did get the Caribou here. We want to 5 and 6, that we have 3 to work with. I think it's probably okay to just go 7s here. 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That leaves us with 6 left, which is enough for our play here. Okay, we did get rid of that one, which is a good place to be at. And then we do this one first, but we do get 2 cards. Ivan's kind of the worst card we could draw in this setup here. Let's see how our opponent plays it, though. We do have a bit of counter, so we can protect this Inazuma once, as long as they're not investing too much. Teach, yeah, I expected that would be the play there. They're gonna go 9 at it, which means I should use the rifle here. The rifle and the Bellet here. And Bellet. We want to keep it around. We will take our first hit, though. They do go for the thing here. Let's think here. It may be correct to just try to get this Burgess off the field. I think that might even be... So it's only at 9. If I go... Let's see, is this one any good? 1 or less cards in hand. I guess it's an attacker. So 3, if I use 3, let me go 14 at it. That's a little not, that's not quite enough. What if we go 16 at it, which would be 9 on here? I guess let's just do this. Let's see how our opponent plays it here. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to tempt fate by going just 8 here. Let's get it off the field. This should be... I think this will work, because I have to have lots of 2Ks to make this work. We are Black Holed. Do I play out a buggy? I think I do play out the buggy. And then we pass the turn here. They have another one. Okay. Nullify, nullify. Okay. It's unfortunate that their opponents got that there. They are going to run low on cards, and we can clear out these teaches. Can't do that. A 5, we will counter. They do Black Hole us. Well, I guess we're just gonna work on clearing out this teach. Yeah, we're going full bore here. And we'll just pass. We do have our opponent in a low resource state here. This Kuzan could be enough to get them there. They do get the Augur. We know they have Dock Q in hand, so they need a little bit more. Let's see if they got it. There's the Stronger, and then we know they have the Dock Q. They are going to be real low, though. It's fortunate we got there. Ooh, are they going to use... Ooh, will they use Leader ability? Let's see if they do, because they go down to 0 cards at that point. And we will take here. They do use it. All right. So this is an on-play and a win attacking. Let's just... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think it's correct to try to get rid of this Dock Q, just so they don't have access to it. What is the correct play here? Go for life? Yeah, I think I'm probably safe here. Yeah, let's go at face here. If they want to block and counter, then that's fine with me. I am going to play this Kaya so that I can get rid of... Oh, shoot. I forgot I was black hold. This is definitely going to be a rough one. Another Kuzan means they can get back the Dock Q if they want it. They get back a Burgess. Find... Okay, they have a 10-drop Teach in hand, so there's at least 1 brick. Yeah, that's fine. Unfortunately, we do have to take here. Get a little feet. They are going to get black hole here. If they don't black hole us, then we do have the advantage of being able to get this Burgess off the field. They do not black hole us. That is big. Use card action. Pitch these Ivankovs and get rid of that one. Now, unfortunately, we don't get another big swing, so we just are going to go a 6... face. Yeah, it's not important here. And then we can even do a 2 with Kaya at Lafitte to get him off the field, unless our opponent wants to give us the Caribou, which they do. Interesting. Oh, and they use a counter for it. Wow. Another 10-drop Teach. It's unfortunate because it means we don't get to swing with our Luffy. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind them using their Lafitte that way. They do have to try to kill us here. So we can give a 2. And then we can give a 2. And we can take here. They black hole us. We do get to play out both of these, which is pretty good. So let's go 5 lead. Yep. And then we do Inazuma and Galdino. In the turn, 4 cards, and we're not going to use that ability. This is tough because we only have 3k worth of swings here. Let's see how they play it. Okay, they're digging for the removal for Galdino. I think our opponent does still have it, even with, unless they overthink it. Here, I think they math it. 9. Ooh, what is the trigger on this? 3 or lower to the bottom. Okay. Let's use the trigger here. Okay. So they are going to get there in the end. These teachers are so hard. There's so much value relative to where we're at. But generally pretty good game. Not being able to play at those Ivankovs, which they got stuck in our hand, that was pretty rough. But let's go ahead and hop to the next game. Ooh, up next we have Rayleigh. This is going to be an interesting one. I don't know that it's going to work out in our favor, but we will see how it goes. If we can get low enough early, then we can make things work. They've opted to go second, which I think I have to mulligan if they're going second. I think it might be correct to play out one of these Kais just to find a slightly better curve. I'm going to get rid of the Rain and the other Kaya here. We're hoping to play this out on 5 and this out on 7 at the current rate here. I do find that luckily we are not a slash leader, but it is going to represent some pretty heavy damage on the following turns. Here, I think it's correct to just do a 7 here. We will get out of some of the swing here. Let's see how they play it. But this rifle will help. Confirm. No block, champion rifle, me. They do have to bounce their Shakuyaku here. So they don't get a second swing with the Shakuyaku. On my turn, I think it's correct to go into the buggy here. Just to keep their board a little more cleared. Yep. They do get the Sanji. A 6. I think I am going to take here only because I want to play on curve here. Let's go 5 into you. And play out this big old vanilla. Oh, I can also play out this Inazuma and do another champion rifle, which I think is probably correct. Because we'll get to bounce one of their things for no value. And if we counter right, we can do... see, they're playing around the champion rifle now at this point, which is unfortunate, but a reality that we have to deal with. We are gonna at least prevent them from having a setup board. Wow, they found so many Luffys here. And they cover it with another Luffy. Okay, so they're going down on cards for that. Leader ability to buff Sanji, probably. 7. Let's go ahead and use the champion rifle and a 1K. Put 2 on it, but that doesn't have haste. An 8K here we are not going to be able to get out of, but we will be able to get out of this. So let's do that with one of our cards here. Inazuma is so tough to justify. Getting rid of, but I think it might be correct because this Luffy's going to be disruptive for longer, and it'll turn on the I think we bounce this, and then we want to get these Luffys off the field. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Pass. We don't have enough for the extra rifle, which is unfortunate. It would have been nice to be able to do that. Sanji's fine. They're probably going to take with it. Let's see how they play it. Confirm. 7 face. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to take here. Seven. Let's counter. Seven. We have to take. Uh-oh. 8. We have to take. We do get rain, which we can use to get rid of that. Okay, Nikama is gonna be. Ooh. I think we have to get rid of the croc here, and we're not gonna get rid of anything else. I don't think we're gonna be able to use the bounce here. Here. Am I using the card action? I am not, I don't think. Okay. Go 9 again. Can get it off the field, but I don't think it's worth it at this point. Bellet would have been nice to see earlier in the game. I think we're gonna have to just pass here. Oh, unblockable. Yep, that does it. All right, this was a rough one. They did see a very good curve here. And saw, how many Luffys did they see? At least 3 Luffys, and got to play them multiple times, so... this was going to be a hard matchup anyways, and they did hit what they needed to hit as well. Let's move on to the next one. Ooh, this will be an interesting one. We have Usopp. I haven't seen this leader recently. They've opted to go first. I think I can work with that. I am going to keep here. This rifle's likely not going to be as good as some of the other times, because they do run quite a number of searchers. They have the Coliseum, which is unfortunate for us. I think I am going to play Bellet, though, because there is a world in which this Bellet is useful at removing things so that the rifle does get somewhere. Almost always counter early in the game here. Play out their blocker here. And a Coliseum. Here, we're going to just swing a 5. Okay, they are using their blockers, and then we'll just play out Inazuma. We're just going to hold you on the field, because I think we can get down to 1 card in 1 card or less in hand pretty reasonably here. On our following turn, we're probably going to play Buggy and look for something to play. 6. We're going to counter. I expect the... Okay, they have Cavendish. Let's see here. Galdino doesn't get me down low enough. Let's play the Buggy. Let's grab another Inazuma here. Or should I grab the 6-drop Inazuma? I think I'm going to grab this Inazuma. Hoping to get... Yeah, this rifle's not going to work this turn. We're going to have to take advantage of it next turn. They are going to get to draw some cards. Maybe I'll get a good opportunity to deny them. I'm going to try taking this. I don't know if that's correct or not. Okay. Rebecca. Bring out Kiros. Yeah, Kiros and Orlumbus. Okay. Yeah, they have a much stronger turn than we do here. They sacrifice him to give -4. Okay. Here, this Inuzuma's correct, but it won't be turned on. They don't have blockers, so I can try to get rid of this Cavendish here. And maybe that's correct. Can we hold up? Yeah, it's pretty reasonable to hold up. Let's go. Let's just try this, the 8 at the Cavendish here. I do expect this one to get countered. Yeah, 2K and a 1K. Let's deploy you. And I think it's time to sit back here. We do need to counter somewhat aggressively on this turn. I'm going to go ahead and use this champion rifle. I don't think there's going to be a better opportunity. If we get Rebecca and they get to use Rebecca again, that's unfortunate, but I think we're kind of reliant on having enough cards here. And then we get to resolve it. This Kiros is going to be very difficult for us to deal with, I think, long term. And Orlumbus here. Let's see. Let's give a 1 here. Nine we are going to take. And there's the card we're going to pitch. Let's see how they play it. Oh, he sacrificed himself. Okay, interesting choice there. We're gonna play out the Rebecca. Luffy. Okay. We do get to get them just a smidge here. They have enough cards to swing twice, but are... okay, they're minusing both. What is the idea with minusing them? It's definitely a choice. 7 at 5. Ideo. Okay, so he didn't go for the... Let's see here. We do need to try to get rid of some of their stuff here. So let's go at 8 here. Oh, I missed my chance here. This was the perfect time to use Bellet as a way to get that out of the way. So now we get to do here. They are going to protect. I think I want to use this Kaya. And then we get to go an 8 here again. And see if they have enough counter here. They do not. We get to draw 4 cards here. Ooh, not great. 2 bricks. Unfortunately, these new common lands, I'm only running 2 of them, but when they do come up at the wrong time, it is unfortunate. Good old early cards with the art directly out of the enemy. It's going to be tough. This Luffy is going to start getting quite problematic for us. And of course Kyros as well. And unfortunately, we do not have a way to get to 1 card. Which is very unfortunate. Our opponent does seem to be kind of sitting back a little bit. Oh, they're going at face. We are going to be in trouble probably. This Luffy represents 2 swings of at least 7. We have to get out of at least 1 of them. Yeah, we might be toast here. Opponent still has 5 cards, so they're going to be able to defend their guys. 11. We take, we get beat again, and then 2 more 11s. Yep. I think I put 7 cards back. And then they get to go 11 again. Yep. Unfortunate to hit all these at the end of the game, because these are the kinds of cards I need in the mid game to try to keep up with their Rebecca plays. Yeah, this was not gonna go our way. All right, so here for the wrap up. This deck, of course, it feels great when you can get the curve going, but like a lot of old decks, the finding your curve was just not as consistent, and that's one of the reasons Whitebeard was so dominant, is because you didn't need very much for his curve. You had a lot of redundancy, and then your just 6k leader was just hard for anyone to beat. So now that decks have gotten a lot more consistent at enacting their game plan, and game plans have gotten generally stronger, it's just hard for these older decks to keep up. And some of the new cards that could fit in here really just don't get to use your leader ability. So if you want to build into these older leaders' leader ability, you have to build with cards that just don't keep up anymore, which is unfortunate. I did have fun. I did a couple other games that didn't get recorded where things came together a little better, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you turn on the camera and none of the games quite go your way. But thanks for joining me. Next up will be, let's see, we have, we already did Blue Green Sanji. Next up is Purple Magellan. So the other Impel Down leader from that early set, Purple Magellan. Kind of an interesting one. The Magellan card will be one that will be pretty interesting and has actually seen a little bit of resurgence here in OP13. So next week will be on OP13, so it'll be one of those early weeks for that. But thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.